A number of authors that I work with tell me that they've decided they want to publish conventionally. Fair enough. The problem is that when I ask them why, they say that it's because they don't want to do their own marketing. Yikes. I hate to tell you, but many newer authors, even when they get conventionally published, are expected to shoulder a fair part of the burden when it comes to marketing. And you're setting yourself up for huge disappointment. Now, many of the authors I work with who are happily self-publishing, before they hire me, they'll sometimes ask the same question, which is, if I hire you, can you guarantee that I will recoup my money when I publish? And I say, that depends on you, baby. The number of copies that most self-published authors sell can vary super widely. It depends on so many factors. And one of these factors, obviously, is the book's marketing. Obviously, right? The author platform is so crucial. And then, of course, there are other elements such as the genre, how it's written, what the publishing trends are, and also, the quality and luck. Of course, the average self-published book apparently sells about 250 copies in its first year and around 1,000 copies over its lifetime. That's the average. You have some writers who are self-published who sell millions of copies, and then you've got many, many, many who sell very few copies. So I've seen what it's like as an author and a writing coach. I've seen what kind of a difference marketing makes in selling a book. You can write the best book on earth, but believe me when I say that you will not sell copies if you don't market. So if you've written a book and you're seeing these signs, those are signs that you're not marketing enough. Let's talk about this before we jump into taking the ick out of book marketing, because I know it feels yucky, but here are some of the signs that you definitely need to listen to this podcast episode. The first one is if you've written a book and you're not seeing the book sales you'd hope for, not at all, you've got low sales to no sales, this is obviously an indication that you need to step up your marketing efforts. If you're seeing a lack of engagement on social media, well, you probably need to be building your online presence. You need to be more active and intentional about how you're promoting your book and also showing up on social media and in other places on your author platform. If your book isn't getting any exposure, articles, being on book clubs, all of that stuff, you definitely need to be working more on building your brand. If bookstores won't take it, if you don't have any interest, all of these things, you need to be stepping up your marketing efforts. And finally, lack of reviews. Actually, reviews, funnily enough, are kind of a good marketing tool. But if you're not getting any, that's because you've not gotten your book in front of any readers who can review your book. And believe me, again, I know that when you write a book, even if you're doing it all right, getting people to review your book, it's not easy at all. So just doing something every day, doing it with logic and intention when it comes to marketing is crucial to you as an author. But again, I understand that this feels so yucky. I understand that so many people hate to do this. So let's talk about this on the How to Be an Author podcast. Let's talk about making marketing work for you, making it less yucky, changing your attitude about marketing, making it so that it's something that you do every day that's going to start to build your platform and start to have you seeing results with your book sales. If you're a writer dreaming of becoming a successful author, join me, writing coach Karena Akhavein, on the How to Be an Author podcast, your weekly source for writing information, inspiration, and motivation. Hey, welcome to the How to Be an Author podcast. I'm writing coach Karena Akhavein. It is my job to take you from aspiring, unsuccessful, frustrated writer to successful author. And one of the big elements that I focus on, in addition to writing craft and your author general existence and well-being, because I have a holistic approach, another thing I massively focus on is marketing. Because I know that many authors really hate the idea of marketing their books. So let's talk about first the reasons why authors don't necessarily like to market their books. Reason number one, they prefer to focus on writing. Well, obviously, Come on. Writing is a fun, creative process. It's introspective. It takes a lot of concentration. It takes time. It takes effort. It's not easy. Many of these authors who like to focus on their writing, they find that marketing is a distraction from their craft and it takes up time that they could be writing in. I get that. Right? Many authors feel uncomfortable promoting themselves. I mean, first of all, when you're writing, you're putting yourself out there, and that feels awkward and uncomfortable enough. And you've got this funny thing where you're like, I really put myself out there with this piece of writing, and now I'm scared to have too many people see it. So maybe if I don't market myself, I can safely write these awkward and uncomfortable things, but I don't have to be in the spotlight. Okay, I get it. But at some point, someone needs to read this stuff. I want people to enjoy your amazing writing. So I get that there's discomfort. And I know also that when you're marketing, you feel like you're imposing on others or you're being annoying. Yeah, I totally see that. And we're going to be talking about how to feel less annoying and less disruptive and less imposing to others. We're going to be talking about all of that. Another reason that many authors really hate marketing is that they actually don't know how to do it. Yeah, marketing is a job. Marketing is always changing. It's complex, and lots of authors feel that they don't have the skills or the knowledge to effectively promote their book through marketing. I get that. It feels like it's a whole entire full-time job on top of the job you probably have and on top of the writing that you need to do, which means that you don't have the time or the resources to do this, right? You just don't have the capacity. Plus, it's ever changing. So you feel like the learning curve is so steep and then you have to keep on top of it. But yeah. Listen, honestly, it's important for you to do this. Remember that marketing is a crucial part of the publishing process. You are not a publishing writer if you're not doing the work or at least figuring out how to farm out the work of marketing your book to achieve greater success, right? Here's the important thing, right? Find marketing strategies that are going to align with you, who you are, your strengths, your interests, your abilities. And that way you can effectively promote your book and build a following without feeling like you're being someone else, right? Without feeling like you're being completely foreign to your mission in life or your interests. Now, many authors ask me, hey, do you think I should hire someone to market my book? Now, I think that this is definitely a personal decision. It really depends on lots of different factors, not the least of which is your budget or your time constraints or your skills. People are always telling me, and I often, I've hired people to help me with my marketing, and I currently have someone doing PR for me under my pen name. And, I've done it all. And then sometimes I do my own. And people say, God, but you work on this so much. Why don't you just hire someone? Well, yeah, it's expensive, right? It's expensive. And also B, your marketing professional doesn't know your audience like you do, right? So it can be beneficial, but it's going to take a big setup. You need to have this marketing person be intimately familiar with your writing, your message, your personality, your ideal audience, all of that stuff. And you need to kind of watch them because are they staying on brand? I know people who hired somebody to write tweets for them, for example, and then they look at it and they're like, oh my God, that's totally not the way I want to show up on Twitter. Yeah, that's a huge problem, right? But if you're a writer and you're a busy writer who's working on your job, your book, and all of that other stuff, you don't have time to, be on Twitter, be on Pinterest, be on TikTok, be on Facebook, and have a newsletter besides. Or do you? Right? I kind of feel like having a schedule and focusing on which types of marketing are going to have the biggest effect on your audience, that's going to be part of your job. But definitely, if you hire an experienced marketer, maybe they can come up with a marketing plan for you that you can then stick to, right? Or maybe they can help you to navigate that whole marketing landscape so that you can connect with the right people and then you can keep going and you can kind of run with that, right? And if you cannot afford to hire a marketer at all, there's so many things that you can definitely do to market your book yourself, right? Your online presence, that's something you can build slowly but surely. Leveraging social media, definitely something that you can do. Offering free promotions, building relationships, all of these things are things that you can definitely do. And all of those things are really useful in promoting your books. But first, I think that there's a little bit of a mindset shift that needs to happen, right? Many of us are very uncomfortable with this marketing thing. So let me talk about how you can get way more comfortable with marketing your book as an author. So number one, mindset shift. Important. So many of us think, oh my God, marketing, I guess it's a necessary evil, but it's really annoying and I don't want to annoy people and I don't want to, people are going to come up to me and be like, why are you always promoting yourself? Why are you being such an egomaniac? No. Reframe this. Reframe it as an opportunity to share your work with an audience that's going to enjoy it. Reframe it as an opportunity to connect with readers, to build community. Reframe it as something that is part of your job as a writer. So, it's necessary. Take out the evil part. That's really, really important. Stop thinking that it makes you look stupid. Do you know how many marketing professionals are out there promoting stuff left and right? Think about the last time an influencer that you really liked showed up promoting a brand that you also are kind of interested in, right? So your favorite influencer shows up and they're using that coffee mug that you've been really thinking about buying, but you weren't really sure about it. And you're like, wow, I love that they gave me this new idea of like places I can take this coffee mug, for example, right? Or how this coffee mug fits into my life. And now you're thinking, wow, thank you, influencer, and thank you, coffee mug company, for creating this piece of content that actually is aligned with me and my interest, and that made me make up my mind about this thing that's going to enrich my life, right? See how this works with your book? It totally does. Another thing that you need to do to be more comfortable with marketing your book as an author is identify your strengths. Think about your unique strengths and interests. How can you incorporate those into your marketing efforts, right? Are you good at graphic design? Awesome. Make a bunch of content that is visually arresting that you can put on social media. Are you great at public speaking? Oh my God, go to events. Focus on speaking engagements, places where you can talk to your ideal audience. Are you tech savvy and you're really good at making videos? Do that. Are you a fantastic dancer? TikTok is for you. You know what I mean? So think about how you're unique. Think about where you hang out, what you do in addition to writing, and that can give you ideas for unique ways to market your book. Also, educate yourself. These marketing strategies are not rocket science, but yeah, you can't be born knowing how to market yourself. There are books, there are courses, there are forums. You can Google stuff. Take advantage of all of these resources. You're going to be so much more knowledgeable and confident. Now, here's my turn to market myself and plug myself. My course from idea to published in 6 months is an absolute masterclass in how to not only write, but also market a book in 6 short months. I have so many resources as to how to market yourself and how to learn how to market as a writer that are going to make you feel so much more confident. You don't have to look a million things up because everything's in one place. And not only are you going to be getting the information that you need to market your book, but you're going to be getting a schedule so that you know what to do month by month when it comes to building this writer platform that's going to help you to market your book. That's really important. So definitely check out my course because I think that in terms of investing in yourself, in your book, and in your writing career as it grows, in terms of investments, this one's pretty small and it's going to definitely pay off. I used my own method to publish a book back in January, and I've already sold enough copies to definitely pay for that course 3 times over. So that's a good thing to know, right? I've put, kind of my own practice into this course. These are things that definitely work, and what I was doing earlier, as a writer, it wasn't working. I was kind of feeling my way and doing things that weren't sustained efforts. And I thought that I could get away with just writing a good book and not marketing. And believe me, the numbers show that clearly that doesn't work at all. And even kind of the half-assed marketing strategies I was doing, those weren't enough. So there are definitely some things that work and other things that aren't worth it. And you really need to be able to weed out what works and what doesn't. Now, don't feel that you have to tackle this massive marketing effort all at once. Don't think that you need to do it all, that you need to tackle all aspects or facets of marketing. Start with a few small steps. That's okay, right? Create a social media account, reach out to local bookstores, and then you can build from there, right? You don't need to bite off more than you can chew. And definitely, I think that it's great to find support. Talk to mentors, talk to other authors in your community, and find out what they did to navigate this marketing process, right? It takes time. It is a process. You don't see results from 1 minute to the next, right? I play this little game with myself where I'll try to put out a new piece of book promotion or marketing, and I'll literally be checking my Amazon KDP page over and over to see if it actually worked, to move the needle. And so you can see in real time, right, what worked. And remember that your community, they're not necessarily all your reader, but they are people that you can talk to kind of get that word of mouth out about your book. It actually moves the needle more than you may think. And again, also remember that this progress is exponential. So with your first book, you might not be seeing huge results, but then when you've got the next book and the next book after that, all of this builds on itself. And also, it's kind of like this platform that you've already built. That's why they call it an author platform. When you've already built the foundation, it's that much easier and cheaper to build a second story and a third. So this is what's really good, is that any work that you're going to be putting in, it's building foundations. So what you do, just take the time to find the strategies that work for you. Approach the marketing with this completely positive mindset of learning, having fun, and slowly building this loyal following. That's going to be much more important. Now, before I talk about just simple, small, easy ways that you can market your book in a unique and creative way, I thought I'd come up with some examples from famous authors who have marketed in kind of interesting ways that I find fun and inspiring. Also, by the way, if you are a Writing Coach on Demand person, if you're a member of that exclusive club, which you can still join, of course, where you basically get access to bonus materials and a slot in office hours each week for less than $1 a day. If you're in that Writing Coach on Demand program, you're going to get a list of 50 different unique ways to market your writing. So that's kind of a fun thing that you're going to be getting. Love that. I'll probably end up giving you more bonus materials, like maybe a script that you can use with a call to action, things like that. But first, let's talk about what a few famous authors have done to promote their book in unique ways. First, Neil Gaiman. His book, American Gods, pretty fun. To promote it, Neil Gaiman created a scavenger hunt. He hid copies of his book in locations across the United States, and he left clues on his blog and on his social media accounts. And fans had to solve clues to find the hidden books. That's really fun. And here's why this works. Fans who found one of the hidden books are going to boast about it on social media. They're going to tell their friends. And so you get this exponential word of mouth growth. That's brilliant. I'm going to tell you what I am doing for one of my upcoming books under my pen name. I am going to promote it, and I've actually launched this already, where I've asked people, because my main character is a chef. And so I've asked people to provide me with their favorite recipe that my chef could be making in the book. And the top 10 recipes will make it into the book. The person will get a shout out and they'll get a free copy. These people who get a free copy and who have their recipe in the book are definitely going to be telling their friends, hey, check out this book, my recipe's in it. So that's really fun too. Think about that. Okay, John Green, when promoting The Fault in Our Stars, created a video series called My Thoughts on The Fault in Our Stars. And basically, he was sharing these personal anecdotes, insights about the book. He was engaging with fans on social media. He came up with a hashtag. So unique hashtag TFIOS, to build excitement and encourage discussions. And yeah, John Green is John Green. I get that. He's got a massive platform, but that's really fun. I think that creating a series where you talk about the process of writing your book, even creating a mailing list by having a lead magnet where you tell people that, hey, I deleted a scene from my book, but if you want to see it, here it is. That can be really fun. J.K. Rowling, to promote The Casual Vacancy, one of her books, she launched a Twitter campaign. She was asking fans to solve a puzzle by unscrambling letters that were tweeted out in pieces. And the first fans to solve the puzzle were given a sneak peek of the book's cover. I think that cover reveals are really, really fun, especially if you have your fans involved in shaping what's on the cover, right? You can ask fans, what color should I have on the cover? What kind of, image do you want to see? All of that. When people get invested in a process, they want to see the results and they want to share that they were part of this. When Chuck Palahniuk wrote Fight Club, he actually ended up creating a series of fake fight clubs in different cities, which is kind of crazy. And I know that the first rule of Fight Club is that you don't talk about Fight Club, right? But I think that people were definitely talking about these fight clubs, and fans could participate in these mock fights. They could get prizes. He had also fans creating graffiti promoting the book and posting it around their cities. I think that might be a little borderline illegal, but it's a really interesting thing. I've seen people do great things with encouraging fan art for their books. I mean, when I look at what the ladies over at My Favorite Murder have done with fans and the fan cult and fan art and fan crafts, they've done a great job. So when their book came out, Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered, they definitely had fans contributing to that fan art and checking out each other's art and getting excited about that book. When Margaret Atwood wrote The Testaments, she created a giant book club, global book club. She invited fans to read and discuss the book together. So there'd be these live events where fans could ask her questions and discuss the book. I do this on a much smaller scale, but I have participated in book clubs where people have read my book, and it's been really fun answering questions by readers. And I think it also feeds my ideas of what to write about next time, because so many readers will tell you like, hey, I loved this. I want more of that. What a gift that is, right? Not only are you marketing, but you're kind of honing your craft and finding out more things that you can do. So these are really great ways to create buzz, create excitement in unique ways. It's so great to think outside of the box. And I'm definitely going to be giving you some original ways to market your book. But first, let's be negative Nellies and talk about some common marketing mistakes that many authors make. Marketing mistake number 1, not defining your target audience. You need to identify your target audience. If you don't know who your target audience is, your book efforts, your book marketing efforts are going to be a little bit ineffective. They're going to be a waste of time and resources, because really knowing who your target audience is means that you know who to speak to, how to speak to them, where to go to find them, all of those things. Really crucial. Now, here's the next common marketing mistake. And let me tell you, I'm kind of guilty of making this mistake too, but I've started to learn my lesson. Relying too heavily on social media. That's right. Social media is a valuable marketing tool, but many authors rely too heavily on it. Many authors really focus on social media and on the likes and follows, but then they don't have enough of a call to action, that call to action being buy my book, review my book, and then also get on my mailing list, because email marketing is crucial. And also advertising is part of any good marketing campaign for a book. And advertising is one of those things that I think I'm going to do a later podcast on, because this is something that I've been learning about myself as we go along. And it's not easy. It's not just a question of pay and blast out an advertisement about your book. It takes a little bit more tweaking than that. Another problem is people think that marketing and author platform are the same thing, and they're not. Marketing all the time is kind of buy my book, buy my book. Building an author platform is more connecting with your audience and establishing who you are. Failing to do that author platform stuff really makes it difficult to gain traction and build a following. So you're kind of marketing out into the void, and nobody wants to do that. Another massive marketing element that a lot of authors kind of forget. And I feel like, okay, I've been seeing some massive leaps and bounds in this whole thing. So I think that we're improving on this, but still, it's really important, is that, do you know that your book cover is one of the huge pieces of marketing that you can use to attract readers? Yeah, your book cover design is Huge. It impacts how your book is perceived by readers. And failing to invest in a great book cover can make your book appear amateurish and less appealing to potential readers. Now, here's the important thing too about your book cover. Like, don't overthink it, but it is really important because I have played with book covers before, and sometimes you'd be surprised as to which types of book covers your readers actually react to positively. Sometimes you think that kind of more bells and whistles is better when a simple cover can work better. So don't ask everybody and their uncle, what they think of your book cover and try to please everyone. Really think about who your ideal reader is and what they're going to react to. That's really important. But I think that book cover design is crucial. I'm proud to say that many of the authors that I work with have really awesome book covers. But then there are others where I feel that they could have done something slightly different and it would have helped them. And I try to consult people on that. And if you take the course from idea to published in 6 months, I definitely have a lot of information on book covers, whether you're doing it yourself or hiring someone. I have all of that step-by-step info because a book cover is a massive marketing tool. And then finally, the big mistake, and this is where we were talking about the author platform stuff, is neglecting to build relationships. Building relationships with readers, with reviewers, with bloggers, mommy bloggers, things like that. All of these things take relationships. You need to engage with your reader. You can engage with them on social media. So when you're making a video and somebody comments on it, engage with them, talk to them, ask them more questions. So I'm going to be talking about that whole newsletter thing in a second because that newsletter is so often overlooked. And I think that it's such a massive book selling tool. Okay, let's talk about some original ways to market your book. Okay, you can collaborate with other authors. So this, number one, building relationships. Awesome. You could participate in a book bundle, or you can, kind of connect with new readers by checking in with other authors who write books similar to yours. Kind of fun. Another thing you can do is host a virtual launch party. I've seen authors do this really, really well. They'll do it through a video conferencing platform. It's an engaging way to promote your book, connect with reader, build relationships yet again. But what do you give people who are participating in this launch party? Remember that a party should be festive. How do you do that? Think about that. Creating a book trailer. This is another overlooked way of marketing your book. Your book trailer can be so useful. And I've talked about creating a book trailer, and I actually have a whole media training for writers course that helps you to create more of this video content. But also in my course from idea to published in 6 months, I do have a whole section on how to create a book trailer. You can check out my book trailers on my social media profiles. You will find them there. You can host a writing contest or some other contest related to your book's genre or theme. I was talking about this, how I did the recipe contest. You can do all kinds of different contests. It's super, super fun, and people love to be engaged in this. You can offer a bonus, right? If somebody buys your book during a limited time, you'll give them a free ebook, or you'll give them a discount, or you'll give them a related other thing. That's kind of cool. And you can create a book-inspired product that's related to your book, like a piece of artwork, a piece of jewelry, a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a dish towel. This will help to generate interest in your book. It creates backlinks to your website, and it creates a whole new revenue stream for you. You can even, if you're an influencer on Amazon, which I recently got my little Amazon store going, you can create Amazon lists as well that have to do with your books. Like, how does my character dress? Let me have a list of things on Amazon that you can buy to be like my character. Kind of fun. You can host book events, such as a book club meeting. I talked about this, author Q&A, but even something else, right? It could be a pedicure party with the colors of your book cover, for example. Right? Partnering with a book club is a really great way to get exposure. I think that's so fun. I really encourage people to have my book in a book club. And I always say I'll show up, whether it's by video or in person. And you can also create a podcast or video series that works around the themes of your book. That can be really, really interesting. Now, as to how often you need to do things promoting your book, this varies, but honestly, Ongoing promotional efforts are crucial if you want to maintain and grow your audience. I've seen that when I back off of my efforts to market my book, guess what? Sales drop, right? It takes a really long time and it takes a certain level of fame and notoriety to have book sales kind of work off of themselves. You know, if you're not a best-selling author already, constantly being present is going to be crucial. So you can't let that slide. You have to stay active and engaged with your audience. It's really, really important. So I said, your mailing list, this is the most overlooked tool when promoting your book, and it's so crucial. You don't depend on an algorithm. You own it. Your emails have open rates that are higher than, swiping or scrolling rates. This is where you get your ideal reader's attention. But how do you build a mailing list? You need a lead magnet. A lead magnet is that free resource or content that you're going to offer to potential readers in exchange for their email address. So here's what you do. You have to identify your target audience. Who's your ideal reader? What are they looking for? What are their pain points, desires, and interests that relate to your book? Now you choose a relevant topic, right? What can I give my ideal reader? Can I give them a cookbook based on the recipes in my book? Can I give them a bonus chapter? Can I give them a cheat sheet? Can I give them some other resource that is going to be valuable to them? When you're creating your lead magnet, make it pretty, make it visually appealing, make it easy to read. Use tools such as Canva, Google Docs, PDFs, all of that good stuff to create your lead magnet. And now how do you promote it? You're going to promote it on your website, on your blog, on social media, any platform where your target audience can be found. Encourage people to sign up for your list so they get that magnet. And then once they're on your list, you want to follow up with them, right? Follow up with them regularly. Send them valuable content. Send them things that are going to help to build trust and build a relationship, right? So remember that once you build your list, you don't want to just send an email when your book comes out and that you're saying, buy my book. No, you want to be sending frequent emails, probably once a week, maybe once a month minimum, with different types of info and different types of content. So yes, book launch announcement, definitely the book launch announcement is an email that you should send. You're going to include details such as the release date, book cover, a summary, and where to buy or pre-order your book. Then other content that you can do is behind the scenes, right? Stories about your writing process, about author life, inspiration, challenges, fun facts, things like that. Exclusive content, alternate endings, bonus chapters, deleted scenes, all of those things make your subscribers feel special. They'll stay subscribed because you don't want them unsubscribing, if they're valuable to you. You can be sharing reviews, reader feedback, things that encourage readers to check out your work, but also to post reviews of their own. Personal updates, always a great thing. Insights about your life as an author. This makes you feel like a person, not just a writer. This is what creates fans. And also start teasing future projects. This helps generate excitement and anticipation, right? Remember to keep those emails engaging and informative. You're not bombarding your subscribers, right? You're striking a balance. You're respecting their time and their attention and their inbox, right? So I think that's really crucial. I think that really helps. I really encourage you to create a big writer, mailing list. And again, from idea to publish in 6 months has super, super valuable insight on how to build a mailing list and how to build a lead magnet. So that's it. I hope all of this marketing stuff inspired you, makes you feel better about marketing your book. Again, if you're a Writing Coach on Demand member, you'll be getting a list of 50 unique book promotion ideas in my follow-up email to you. It's still time to become a Writing Coach on Demand member. It's so useful. And I would love to hear from you. You can tell me how you're doing your book marketing. I would love it if you have a really cool novel thing that worked for you. Please share that with me and I'll share that with other writers like you so that we can build that community and build awesome writers who are getting their books out there. Thank you so much for being with me. I look forward to being with you next time here on the How to Be an Author podcast. If you have any pressing writing-related questions or would like to be featured on the How to Be an Author podcast, please feel free to reach out on my website, creativeandwritingcoach.com.